right, seeing no others on my left, the west side, I'll go to the opposite side of the room. Any specials on this side? Can always count on Councilmember Price.
Yes, sir. And out of an abundance of caution, I am recusing myself from items 2 and 3 because my wife's employer has worked with an applicant on these items in the past.
All right, items 2 and 3 for recusal for Councilmember Price.
To people providing public comment, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time and we will move on to the next speaker.
Harriet
Good
Elliott, I
morning.
signed up to speak for 6. However, I see you voted on it already.
Correct. So,
Okay.
but you can speak to it during general public comment if you'd like. So are there any other items you'd like to speak to? Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go
By
ahead.
the way, I liked Blumenthal and I liked Eunice's speaking today. I'm glad that we like to hear all of this background of science. We appreciate it. Anyway, I came here to talk about Renee Pittman's 7th book. I was such a fan of Renee, I did not believe that she believes in psychic. And I was so stupid about this. Like most religious people, they believe in psychic phenomena, okay? I let it go when I read a book of hers where she's justifying the CIA when page of, it's about more than half the book. And I just still couldn't believe it, but that's her problem. The last part of this talks about old people's fading memories, and she doesn't mention Edom, which is erasure of memories. It's all throughout Robert Duncan. If you read Robert Duncan, he's a NATO scientist, secular. He doesn't keep stressing it like I do. He is an atheist. He doesn't say it.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
Morning, Grote.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'd like to speak on 21 and general comment.
Okay. So,
And for the record, I signed up as Michael Wu.
so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
A great council member you should all emulate. This is, item 21 is on Hapa Day, and if you didn't know, I am Hapa. I am half white, half Asian, Chinese and Indian specifically, and I would really rather just be a nerdy-ass Hapa focused on things like charter reform. But instead, I have to be an impatient, annoying Hapa. Been forced to be a chaos agent because Karen doesn't care about Hapas, unless maybe they're donors. And this is all just on the theme of this city hall being both broke and broken. And I'm going to just turn to my general public comment for this because
Okay, you have 1
this is
minute.
all captured in a little mailer that went out for Karen, our MIA mayor, highlighting her inaction. And it went largely to her donors. Just got to cause some chaos. This is hitting mailboxes today, and funny enough, see that Karen has finally made some appointments. We are halfway there. Happy to see that, but we got 2 to go, and we still need to see the council get moving, because for you to get this commission off the ground before the July recess, those appointments need to be in this week, and they need to be confirmed next week. So I hope there is a come to Jesus moment, and I don't have to be like this. And maybe I can focus on Ugo and Eunices instead. But until then, I will be focused on this. And maybe those appointments will come today. If they don't, gonna start dropping some digital ads. If they do, maybe I'll wait till next week. You're just gonna leave me waiting, apparently.
Next speaker. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Items 7 and 8.
Okay, so items 7 and 8 are not open for public comment, but you can speak to them during general, and feel free to move the microphone up if you need to. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, my name is Jacob Montag. I'm an LA resident. I'm also a member of Sunrise LA. I'm here to thank council for your support of items 7 and 8. I support these items because I am deeply concerned about the impact of living near oil fields and brownfield sites is having on my health and the health of our community. Nearly 2 million Angelinos live near these toxic sites, exposing them to dangerous chemicals like benzene and methane, which are linked to respiratory illnesses, cancers, and other chronic illnesses. These detrimental effects disproportionately impact low-income and minority communities, further deepening the crisis of inequality. Unchecked development on or near uncapped oil wells aggravates an existing public health crisis by exposing residents to toxic hazards and worsening the housing crisis by allowing unsafe, short-sighted construction that will likely be unlivable in the long term. Once again, I want to thank you for passing items 7 and 8 because that's an important first step to a more well-balanced approach to public safety that I hope will be reflected in the upcoming budget negotiations. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roma Eisenstark. I'm a member of Sunrise LA, and I'm here to support items 7 and 8 because there are nearly 5,000 uncapped oil wells across Los Angeles, which pose an unacceptable risk to 2 million people. These wells cause respiratory illnesses, strokes, cancers, and serious chronic illnesses. We cannot just ignore this. We need to clean up our mess. We need to think about how these health effects, these health costs affect healthcare costs, not to mention the moral costs and damage to our communities. These wells are not even in use, but they are still poisoning our citizens. And you have the opportunity to rectify this today. Thank you.
I'd like to
Good
speak
morning.
on
So we
all
have
items.
3
and
minutes for the
non-agenda
items and
public
1 minute
comment,
for general
please.
public comment. Before you begin, don't start his
Yes,
time
sir,
yet.
I wanna
So,
speak.
hold on, it's not your time yet. So
Okay,
I need
thank
to
you.
make an announcement to the room. So to everybody who is new here or to people who've been here before, just as an FYI, expect that we will hear some offensive, potentially very offensive things over the next 4 minutes. We appreciate your patience during this time. Mr. Herman is allowed to speak if you would like, because the Brown Act does not require you, the audience members, to listen. You can pop in your headphones if you'd like. You can go for a short 4-minute walk and go look at the rotunda. You can also stick your fingers in your ears if you would prefer to do so. We will listen to his public comment, but you do not have to. So again, we appreciate your patience. The fastest way to get through this is to just let him use his time, and then we'll move on to the next speaker. Okay, Mr. Herman, go ahead. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general.
Well, sir, thank you for the prior restraints and impermissible California Constitution of my
This is not
civil
on the
rights
agenda.
violations.
You are welcome to talk to it during general
Yeah,
public
I'm
comment if you'd
talking
like.
about the Sakura Market located on East Cesar E. Chavez. Like, really, Ms. Gerardo, we need more alcohol in our community where Latinos and minorities are under constant attack by the police. Fuck the police. Niggas with attitude come into my community threatening to arrest me for drinking a 40 just because, again, alcohol beverages. No, that needs to stop. And you, Mr. Attorney, stop violating my civil rights. I have a right to drink
again-
a 40 anytime I want. Smoking, scan. Now into item number 2, Azo. Where's the MIA mayor? Where is she at? Let's put her on record for the finance of construction for multifamily housing. Judge Carter couldn't do it in Brentwood. You see the shirt I'm wearing, smoking scan? Retired. And I'm talking about the bonds and the bond abuse by Los Angeles and the meaning of the bonds by the mayor, who continues to rip off the public. You idiot taxpayers keep following these instructions of these moron, idiot, incompetent, incoherent assos. For what reason? Look at Mr. Price has to recuse himself because his wife is on a family issue on family housing development, right, Mr. Grote? That has to do with the approval of the mayor. So as far as I'm concerned, we're all fucked. Get a job, get 3 jobs because your rent's going up and you'll never buy a fucking house in Los Angeles as long as these conditions and rules of the prior restraints by this bonehead attorney and that baldhead fool up there, you, Dawson.
So I would ask you politely to stay on the agenda.
Now going
You've
to item
refused to
number
do so
3,
after
asshole.
2 separate
You're
requests.
interrupting my
so I'm going to move you to
motherfucking
general
time,
public comment. You know
bitch.
the rules. You have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
A moment of silence, please.
So you're welcome to be silent if you'd like, but you are to address this body, not the audience.
Items 16, items 16 through 30, jackass. I'm in opposition, I oppose. Go Trump, go Trump. Fuck Los Angeles, Trump. Fuck Brentwood. Fuck those assholes who continue to put VAs and anyone who's missing in action on a goddamn street without the appropriate housing, you morons. You're idiots. You're all a bunch of idiots, and that's a fact. And if you don't like it, bald head, too bad. Look at here, item 30, CD8, Navigation Center, Council District 8, for the record and politely, 42 C 1983, fuck you. Now,
Next speaker. Mr. Herman, your time has expired. Next speaker. You forfeited the rest of your time on the items because you refused to listen to the instructions to stay on topic. So at this point, you are disrupting the meeting. You need to leave the podium so we can continue with this meeting. This is your first and only formal warning. We cannot continue with public comment until you vacate the podium.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Laura Esquivel y soy trabajadora del aeropuerto por 24 años.
Good morning, my name is Laura Esquivel and I've been working at LAX for 24 years.
Llegué a este país hace 34 años.
I arrived to this nation 34 years ago.
Y desde que llegué aquí, yo he vivido para trabajar.
Since my arrival, I've been working for living.
Pero ahora lo que necesito es trabajar para poder vivir.
But now I need to work to be able to live.
Como ustedes saben, nosotros estamos aquí porque queremos un salario digno.
As you know, we are here because we are asking for a worth wages
Y una mejor cobertura médica para nosotros y nuestras familias.
and a better health insurance for us and for our families.
Yo tengo una necesidad económica que es para mi hija que tengo que llevar al dentista.
I have a special financial need because I have to take my daughter to the dentist.
Lo que quiero que sepan es que me es muy difícil no poder dar este pago cada mes, pero es necesario, es la salud de mi hija.
I want you to know that it's very difficult for me to make this payment every month, but it is needed for the health of my daughter.
Tengo que ver si pago, como o pago mi renta.
I have to decide between paying, eating, or paying the rent.
Por favor, no demoren más.
Please do not delay this anymore.
Speaker, your time has expired.
Señora, ya su tiempo terminó.
And if I could have the interpreters make this announcement to the room as well. So if you run out of time or if you have additional public comment that you would like to provide,
Para en español, si usted se le termina su tiempo o tiene comentarios adicionales para proveer, para dar,
you can do so in writing at lacouncilcomment.com.
puede presentarlo por escrito en lacouncilcomment.com.
And if you need that URL, you can actually find it at the top of every agenda right here.
Si usted necesita tener la dirección de internet, puede encontrarlo en la parte superior de la agenda.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Hi, my name is Javon Houston. I'm a member of SCIU and an airport worker. Tomorrow will be a culmination of 2 years of hard work that myself and my team have did at airport workers. Airport workers and hotel workers need an Olympic wage and health care now without amendments. Corporations and business owners will always be here but you need to side with airport workers and tourism workers and the people that run LA and LAX. Side with them. Side with working class people in Los Angeles. We need this. We need health care. We need a living wage so we can take care of our families. Please, I ask you, do what's right. Do what's right for single parents. Do what's right for struggling families. Thank you.
All right,
ahead.
so I'll start with the items first. On item number 2, it's regarding a housing bond. One of the things that's most interesting about housing bonds is that I don't see written out here, also on the attachments. When you use bonds, you're supposed to state the method of payment as it relates to the bond. Interestingly enough, COVID money has actually been used where, how is that related to a housing bond? A housing bond, you're supposed to state where it comes from. COVID money, which is supposed to be really used for PPP loans and small business relief, is not a housing bond. How can you possibly allocate money from another program? That is called textbook fraud. That is textbook fraud. That same PPP money has also been used to imprison people. How are you using non-disclosed public funds, which the public did not agree to use for housing-related matters, but are you being used by other programs? Moving on to agenda item number 3, we have yet another housing bond. Housing bonds, just like any other government bond, you're supposed to state the method of payment. The method of payment must also be agreed upon by the public. This is textbook fraud when you're using things like PPP loans and you're handing it off to nonprofits doing your dirty work. That is textbook fraud. Moving on to 30, we have yet another housing bond. If you're following along, City Attorney, when you're using housing bonds, what are you supposed to do? When you're using bonds, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to disclose the method of payment publicly. And does it line up with what the public agreed upon, or does it not? And repeatedly, what's been happening? It's not been lining up. That is textbook fraud. Repeat it with me. F-R-A-U-D, fraud. That is fraud. That's what's happening with these bonds. That's why there's a DOJ task force to investigate all the money that's being funneled. I'm not an idiot. I might have come to previous meetings looking like an idiot, but I guarantee you I am far from it. When you use bonds, say it again with me. You're supposed to disclose the method of payment. I know you're laughing because it's true, and that's not been the case. The money that's been agreed upon by the public for use is not being used by that. That's fraud. Shout out to Smoke and Scan, and that's fraud. The lesson of the day is when you use government bonds, you're supposed to state the method of payment. And when you don't use the money that was agreed upon for that specific purpose, that's fraud. Moving on to general public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
Thank you very much, City Attorney. I beat my case against Heidi Soto. I confronted her in public at the Sherman Oaks Homeowners Association. She didn't know what my face looks like, and I bet you she does now. And I asked her about my case. She admitted on a fucking public recording that she knew my case was frivolous, and that's why I destroyed that case in court. Holy shit. It was admitted through discovery that she colluded with Scientology to continue to prosecute me, knowing it was always frivolous, admitted it on a fucking public recording, and your own deputy trial prosecutor, Ethan Green, fucking said, holy shit, why is this case ever even in court? I'm the first activist in this whole year-and-a-half shit show to beat a fucking case against City Attorney Heidi Soto. The first guy, no convictions, no fines, no criminal history. Get fucked. I beat that case, and I'm holding City Attorney Heidi Soto accountable for that shit. Remember this fucking day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex McIlvain. I'm here representing ACT LA. We are a coalition of 49 community organizations from around LA County focused at the intersection of housing and transit issues. Everything we've done over our organization coalition's tenure, from Measure J to Measure ULA just recently, has been done in partnership with labor, because we all know that there's no future Los Angeles worth building that isn't built primarily for the benefit of the working people that power it, that build it, that make the city go. We stand with workers in support of a living wage, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's vote. On an Olympic wage, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's vote. These games were approved with significant assurances around the broad-based benefits to all Angelenos, and tomorrow you'll have the opportunity to make good on that promise, and I'm looking forward to you doing so. Thank you.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
What's up, my homie? What's up, dog? Let's start with item number 22. This is talking about the Koreatown Youth and Community Center. And then I have a really concern about this because I heard so many requests that our Korean youth, they want to have access to free transgender surgery. However, the council president and our city attorney, because both of you are black, continue to deny the Korean youth and the Korean community to access free of charge gender switching surgery. So this is very concerning because I'm aware that a city attorney and then a council president, they always provide free gender change surgery to Latinos and blacks, but why not Koreans? This is very racist. Now, let's move on to item number 23. What's up, my homie? What's up, dog? Number 23 is about Los Angeles Police Foundation for Public Safety Enhancement. Yes, definitely. I'm here to support with our LAPD 24-inch Sergeant Duarte. We need more police on the street. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Beverly Grove neighborhood. It doesn't matter you're talking about Figueroa neighborhood. It doesn't matter you're talking about Toilet neighborhood. We need more cops. We need more Sergeant Duarte. We need more 24 inches on the street. We need to take down those gangbangers. We need to take down those cartels. We need to take down those illegal attorneys like our council president attorney. Now let's move on to item number 25. Item 25 is about a homeless strategy committee and trying to contract with HRNA advisor. I want to ask our city attorney, how dare you? You really have some balls to ask for more money for homeless services. You spend $500 million, and then during the homeless audit report, none of you, no council member, no mayor, no city attorney can tell the public where did the money go. And then you want more money for homeless, city attorney, you really have some big 24 inches balls to ask more money for homeless services. Now let's move on to item number 29. 29 is about, again, city attorney, you have some big balls. You want to make sure, take the money from Bureau of Sanitation and then to transfer the money to the city attorney's office. So you are saying that in the future, we see pee on the street. We no longer have Bureau of Sanitation Services to clean our street. And then somehow those millions of dollars transfer to city attorney's office so you can provide gender changing surgery for black and Hispanic Latino for all those illegal homeless services. I really love your 24-inch big balls down there so you can ask for this agenda to begin with. Now let's move on to our general public comment. For the general public comment, I want to ask our public that let's not about our council member Spindler, and that we will continue to fight against the corruption of the city. We will continue to fight against the illegal practices by the city attorney, by the council president, by the illegal Hamas supporter Blue Mandingo's office. We have to make sure we're going to restore law and order in the city of LA. You commit a crime, you are going to jail. Period. There's no other way around it. Who is going to restore law and order? Councilmember Spindler. Who is going to make sure that every crime have consequences? That's Councilmember Spindler. Who has someone who has zero record of corruption? Who has zero record accepting bribe money? That's our Councilmember Spindler. So everyone in the smoking scan community, anyone living in Council District 1, let's vote for Councilmember Spindler. Let's take down Hernandez. Take down Hernandez.
Next speaker.
I'm Reverend Gary Bernard Williams. I'm the pastor of St. Mark, LA, a United Methodist congregation in the 8th District. And I'm here today, my church, let me say my church, first of all, we have a motto, says we're the church in the heart of the community with the community at heart. I'm here today as somebody that grew up in a union household. I'm here today to support this vote for tomorrow on tourist Olympic wage. I'm here as a moral and spiritual leader in my community. We're asking for a yes vote without any further delays, without any more add-ons. We need this passed on tomorrow. I'm here with these workers. For 2 years, they've been trying to get this thing through, and tomorrow is the big day. So I'm asking the city council to do the right thing and vote for this tomorrow without any further delays. I thank you, and I pray that tomorrow we will get a victory. Amen.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Rubio.
Trabajo en Flying Food.
I work at Flying Foods.
Yo gano 20.73 la hora.
I make
No me alcanza para salir
20.73 per
adelante.
hour. That's not enough for me to move forward.
Les pedimos que...
¿Puede bajar el micrófono, por favor? Gracias.
Oh, sí.
Si puede acercarse al micrófono, por favor.
Le pedimos que mañana digan sí al sueldo olímpico.
I ask you for you to tomorrow say yes to the Olympic wage.
A mis 72 años no puedo retirarme con lo que gano. No puedo
I'm
pagar mi renta.
72 years old and I cannot retire with what I'm earning.
Y pago mi carro.
I can't afford rent and I
Las
also have to pay
compañías
for my
hacen
car.
mucho dinero y necesitamos un pedazo para seguir adelante.
The companies make a lot of money and we need a piece of that to move forward.
Sí. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Byron Jose, item 23 and 25, and general public comment. Item 23, if only we were the Los Angeles Police Foundation, then certain offices would prioritize making sure that your discretionary funds are going to save the lives of our communities. Thank you, Officer Park, for walking away. To make sure that we are investing in the lives of our communities and not just continue to fund discretionary funds time and time again, in addition to the city's 47% of its budget, now 49% of its budget going to the police department. It is now getting transferred to that foundation, and we have no accountability where the money is going. Even when it's being administered by the LAPD, we still have no accountability where that money is going. So if only the life of transgender, expensive, and intersex people were as important as the LAPD and public safety and beautification. Item 25. Again, the city lost funding through LASA, so instead of continue to fund yet again another report, pay consultants to continue to come up with graphics and things for you to show. Instead, we should be listening to community-led based response models, ensuring that there is prevention for housing, for homelessness, so such as a housing subsidy, or such as funding, again, for the lives and cares of our people, of transgender, expansive, and intersex communities. During 2020, the Transgender Coalition worked with the state legislature to pass AB 2218. When we asked the state legislature to fund our communities, they established $13 million from a general fund. Last year, along asking you this city council, we worked with the LA County Board of Supervisors to pass TGI Wellness and Equity Motion, establishing $7 million from its net county costs from a locally generated revenue. Both the state nor the county did not defer us to a federal government that is actively attacking and erasing our people. The state and the the county stepped up and used its general funds to ensure that
1 minute for general public comment.
ensuring that our people are being funded. They did not say, go explore general funding. They did not pass the buck down. So this is the time for us. We're asking our local city leaders to ensure that you are stepping up to ensure that you're funding the care and opportunity for our people. So that means that working with the mayors for the GCP, the race and gender and race data collection. That is work that the Talentina Coalition has done with the county. That is work that is funds that you can use to ensure that you are funding the lives of our people, not just criminalizing to funding time and time again the LAPD. We also ask for all of you to use your discretionary funds to ensure that this year, for the upcoming fiscal year, that on this budget, you're putting your values. You're not just calling yourself an ally, but you're actually ensuring that there is a line item to ensure that the lives of trans, gender expansive, and intersex people are being included through the TGIW initiative. Thank you.
Mi nombre es Andrés Salazar y vengo a decirles, salven los centros jornaleros.
My name is Andres Salazar, and I'm here to tell you, save the day worker centers.
Los centros jornaleros han sido un espacio histórico de encuentro y comunidad.
Day worker centers have been historically places where we get together and we form community.
Donde los trabajadores y trabajadoras han sido capacitados
Where male and female workers have been received training,
tanto en sus derechos laborales como en aportes a la comunidad.
they have been trained on labor rights and their contributions to our communities.
En este momento, después de los incendios forestales, los trabajadores han sido útiles en la reconstrucción de la ciudad.
At this time, after the wildfires, these workers have been useful when it comes to the reconstruction of the city.
Entonces venimos a pedir que los centros jornaleros sigan abiertos para que pueda seguir su misión de formación y de defensa de los derechos laborales.
And we're here to ask you for these day worker centers to remain open so they can continue to fulfill their mission of educating and supporting laborers with their rights.
Agradecemos también entre todos los centros la unión que se ha visto entre trabajadores de Los Ángeles.
We thank all the centers also because we've seen a great union between all the workers in LA.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Can we make sure the handheld mic is live?
I could talk loud if you need me to. Okay.
We can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to? And good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to run it through the randomizer, so we will know momentarily. But put me as all items and the non-agenda public comment.
So you have
please.
3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Yes, let's start off with the sanitation, transferring money to the city attorney. Just to be honest, that sounds like dirty money to me. Okay. Now with the alcohol one, the license at the beginning, I'm gonna say no unless it's like, I don't mind like a restaurant, they need a liquor license to go along with dinner, but really in Los Angeles, we really do have a lot of access to both alcohol, cannabis, and illegal drugs. So we don't really need to have like liquor stores and all this stuff. We have a lot, and so I said no to that. As far as lighting up City Hall, I love the concept, I love the idea, so I say go for it, because at least there will be some lighting in the city. Somewhere will be lit up at least, because it's certainly not in the valley. And the housing one, boy, all that fraud, thank you to Unrig for breaking all that down. That was very interesting. But when it comes to all the housing, yeah, we need to build housing, I guess. But although we did spend, what was it, $12.5 trillion on Inside Safe, right? And we housed, I think, 5 people. So I guess, I don't know. Don't we have enough housing? I guess not. The other one is the grants. Yeah, I love grants. That's less, especially since the CAO said we don't have to do matching funds. I love the idea of getting money that we don't have to keep dwindling our budget from $1 billion in a hole to $2 billion in a hole. That'd be great. So I say yes, get all the grants that you can get. I don't even know what else is on here. I guess we just continue talking about the housing grants and all that stuff because there's a few of those. Yeah, the housing thing's a mess. Like what I wish you guys would do would put housing, like we're losing our communities. I know we need housing, but we're also losing our communities. So there's United Neighbors has a thing where they said that there's enough commercial space where you could build all the housing you need on commercial space, so we can keep our cute little communities, that we love. And shout out to Smoke and Scan. I'm just going to run out the clock. I mean, I forget what else is open or not open. They mentioned the wages, the wage one that you're going to be voting on tomorrow. I don't know. Is that open or not open?
It's tomorrow, actually, so that's why they've been
that is
speaking during
okay. So
general.
I'll save my comments about slave wages at Scientology for tomorrow then. Okay, fair enough. We'll do that. And then I guess there's the conduct. Can you talk about conduct? Like I hope Mr. Hugo is telling Mr. Nazarian to.
You're welcome to speak to this during general if you'd like.
Okay, well, we're almost there. We'll just count down. Hey, Smoke and Scan, by the way. And we want info on that randomizer. My randomizer.
Okay, not on top
All
of
right,
it.
there we
You're
go.
on general public
So,
comment.
Mr. Hugo, please tell Mr. Nazarian that, because he has a Scientology in his area too, that he wants to make sure that you do what you need to do, right? So you don't have to keep hearing from me, because I know I drive you nuts. But I think you did a little bit of good, Mr. Hugo, because you know what? They're still getting these permits in spite of violating everybody's rights, including my rights, but they're only for 2 days a week instead of the whole entire week. But, but if they violate it one more time, it's just going to be another lawsuit for the city. But see, he doesn't care, because he can't even listen, right? The city attorney listens. I give, Mr. Grote, I give you credit. You listen, like really listen. Everyone else, no one else listens. Mr. Nazarian used to be really good, but I noticed when Mr. McCosker isn't here, he's not as good, because, Hugo, gets him off track. Bob's listening. I like that Bob listens. Thank you, Bob. Shout out to Bob. Who else is not? Miss Padilla's not listening. She's slipping. Miss Hernandez, you swore to me. You promised me that you listen to me. You are listening? Okay, it's hard to listen and talk. Okay, thank you.
Next speaker.
Okay, I'm the Diamond Piece of Trans Latina.
Good
I had
morning.
to thank Ms. Hunt, also Ms. Hernandez.
Speaker,
and
which items
Hugo.
would you like to speak
They
to?
have been so supported in our community, because our community, we have so many deaths. I am the grandmother of all the transgender community. I'm gonna be 84 in July. Still here. I was here when Ladies Hijaba. Thank God. I'm wearing the ladies' pin with honor, Miss Holly Mitchell. I need a pin from you over there. I really do, and Miss Hunt, because I wear them with honor when they doing things that are supposed to be done. I was here with the Liz Taylor Foundation many years when Mr. Mel Bradley. I've been doing this for years, and I'm always will fight for our community, because our community always need help, safe places to keep people, because our young ladies are being killed, murdered by discrimination, and they're being taken their genders. My gender can be taken away, but my dignity stays with me always, because I am Miss Loretta Lorraine. I'm a diamond piece, and I love you all.
On the oil, LA is one of the only cities in the world that has oil wells in the middle of the city. We have a smog
Can you
problem.
pause this time? So the oil item is item number 8. It is not, my understanding, it's not open for public comment. You
Okay,
can
so
speak
I'll
to
just
it
go to
during
the other 2 and
general
3.
if you'd like, but okay. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes for those items, because those you said 2 and 3, and then 1 minute for general. You can speak to the oil item during general if you'd like. Go ahead.
Well, as typical, as we found out on the free speech issue, you guys are absolutely ignorant of the law. I saw one of these so-called city council people who have no business being there because they're so ignorant of the law, question about what the requirements are for bonds. So in my presentation this time on the law in here is a copy from the page of the state on the requirements for bonds, and the man was not lying. Mr. City Attorney, did we not just nail you on a major issue? And here you are, putting up $140 million in non-voter approved bonds with no attachment to show where you're paying for them. After you use COVID funds on the Soto $60 million thing that costs $600,000 per unit, when I gave 6 to 7 years ago a bid to the county, which you received because you're a part of the Joint Powers Authority, for $35,000 from Giant Containers. Recently, I went up because of the article on Soto's unit for $600,000 to Giant Containers, and I see that same project at Giant Containers. Now, the question is, did you split that extra money with Giant Containers, or you put it all in your own pockets? Are you people so stupid and weak and ignorant and corrupt that you can't find out what you can buy housing for? You see, container homes cost about $70,000. Okay, so now I'm the public comment, huh? Oh, I got another minute, that's right. Okay, I get to keep going on that one, yeah.
All right, hold
Okay.
this time for a second. So you are now in general public comment. You were given 2 minutes for the
Okay, I'm
items
on
you
general,
requested.
okay, give me back
go
my
ahead.
full time on general public comments that you're commenting, so give me back the full minute.
Hold on, I paused your time when I was speaking, so you will get the remainder of your 49 seconds.
I want
Go
to
ahead.
see it before I start. I don't trust you because you're a crook. We busted you, fool. We're going after your bar license. You idiot. How'd you pass the bar? Because the bar's so crooked in this country. Go read Law 360. You ever heard of that? CCAP? Justicia? I do it every day. You never look at it. You didn't give me back my time. Did you? You're trying to take my life, fools. And you say that's not elder abuse? I need a kidney taken out, and I got a serious lung infection that you gave me for 6 years untreated. And I have no doctors and no medication because of you! So if I die, I hope I die here speaking in front of you
Speaker, your
fools. So
time
you
has
go down on
expired.
murder.
Next speaker. So, this is your first and only formal warning. Please do not disrupt this meeting. We need to move on to the next speaker. If you have something to hand to the sergeants to be distributed, please feel free to give it to the sergeants. Thank you.
Trabajo para Flyer Food desde hace 9 años
I've been working for Flyer Foods since 9 years ago,
y nuestro sueldo en la compañía es de $20.73.
and our salary in the company is $20.73.
Y el sueldo olímpico a mí me serviría para ayudar a mi familia en mi país.
And the Olympic wage would help me to help my family in my country
Y también para pagar mi renta.
and to pay my rent.
Ayer hablaba con una compañera,
Yesterday, I was talking to a colleague of mine.
es una madre soltera y tiene 2 niños.
She is a single mother and she has 2 children.
Ella estaba llorando porque la han sacado de su casa y ella está en un lugar y sus niños en otro lugar.
She was crying because she was evicted and she was in one place and her children were in another place
Porque el sueldo que nosotros ganamos no alcanza para pagar renta y mantener la familia.
because the wage that we earn is not enough to pay the rent and keep the family.
Y por eso estamos una vez más aquí pidiéndoles a cada uno de ustedes que se pongan la mano en el corazón, la mano en la conciencia y piensen en los trabajadores.
And that's why we are here, so that we can make you think about, and put your hand in your hearts so that you can think about us, the workers.
Y que el día de mañana su voto sea sí. Gracias.
So that tomorrow your vote may be yes. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm here to speak in general public comment and thank all the council members for supporting items 7 and 8. My name is Emma Silber. I work at Physicians for Social Responsibility Los Angeles and also represent the Stand LA Coalition, Stand Together Against Neighborhood Drilling Los Angeles. We'd like to thank Councilmember Hernandez for putting forward these motions and for protecting frontline communities from the impacts of both active drilling and post-drilling communities. You know, it is important that unsafe and improper development near or on top of improperly plugged wells is addressed and that communities are able to be notified about ongoing emergencies, maintenance activities, and other issues at development near former oil sites. Additionally, I'd like to offer my support for item 8. You know, many frontline BIPOC communities are forced to live with contaminated brownfields in their neighborhoods, and I'd like to thank the council for continuing to address this issue. Thank you.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
All items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
All right, starting off with item 16. Item 16 is related to establishing the Los Angeles Tourism Marketing District. That's not clear. Is this just related to advertising, or is this giving hotel owners like all kinds of extra governmental privileges pretty much and all this stuff? I mean, this seems like this is a lot. This is like every single hotel in the city. So that's just some interesting questions there with item 16. All right, so let's move on to items 20 and 21. So what is City Council doing for Croatian American community or the HAPA community? I'm just curious about that. What are you doing to help them to make sure that they get more rights and more equality and equity and such? Because it's not really quite clear there. But I guess you're lighting up City Hall so that they can, well, who knows what if you're actually helping them or anything. All right, so we hear a lot about how the Los Angeles Police Foundation funds like all kinds of stuff that the city can't afford or whatever. We're going to say, oh, this foundation's going to fund it. It's not the city. So that raises some interesting questions about item 23. Item 23 seeks to take $35,000 from the Street Furniture Fund and CD5 and give it to the Police Foundation. So you're giving city funds to the Police Foundation so they can ostensibly fund stuff that the city isn't funding, but actually you're funding it through this backdoor funding the Police Foundation. So stop giving money. And of course, the Police Foundation shouldn't give their funds from other places too. We should just stop giving money to the police here. But here you are, just backdoor funding the Police Foundation, so it makes it look like that the city isn't funding their lavish parties and all this stuff, and their equipment, all this stuff the Police Foundation funds. But actually, you're giving money to the Police Foundation here. So there's a lot of corruption going on with that. We have item 24, which is lighting up City Hall for Cinco de Mayo. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions. You're not doing much. What all you're doing for the Latino community? That's an interesting question. Okay, so let's move on to general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all love this here, you know. Marquise, Bloom, and Bob, you know, all the presiding officers, how you don't have to lift a single finger anymore here. You're just forcing the clerk, who you're probably not paying any extra for all this new responsibility of reading off names for public comment, instead of the presiding officer doing it themselves like they were supposed to. So you got the clerk reading off names, you got the city attorney running public comment, you've got, you know, But isn't it the presiding officer's job to read off the names and to know what we signed up for and to run public comment here? So hopefully the clerk's being paid extra for all this extra responsibility that's being dumped on the city clerk here over the last few months. You all need to pay attention to public comment and fuck the budget. Reject the budget.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Gardner. I'm the chapter chair of the Sunrise Movement Los Angeles, and just want to share our appreciation to the entire council for approving items 7 and 8. This is a big step forward in addressing the issue of toxic pollution in Los Angeles, which affects every single resident of this city and every single resident of this region. You, of course, especially want to thank council members Hernandez, McCosker, and Blumenfield for introducing these items. And additionally, would like to express the solidarity of our movement and of our organization with the tourism workers, the airport workers, and all workers across the city as they fight for dignity, respect, and a living wage. We urge you to please vote yes when that item comes to council tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Good morning, City Council members. My name is Armando Munoz. I'm a proud member of USWW, SEIU. Wow, 2 years. It's been 2 years since we've been coming here. Tomorrow is going to be a historic day. Thousands of us have worked hard for this day. We have missed work, skipped doctor appointments, used our savings to cover the days that we missed to come to City Council so you can hear our stories. Tomorrow you are going to decide if you stand with the people of Los Angeles or if you stand with corporate greed. We are going to count on your vote, and your vote is going to define who you are. So please stand with us and vote yes for the living wage ordinance. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm speaking on general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Chichi Navarro. I am a transgender, gender expansive Angelino, and the child of Mexican immigrants. I'm here today to urge you to fully realize the promise of LA is for everyone by making meaningful investments in all of our communities, especially transgender, gender expansive, and intersex Angelinos. The LA for All campaign stands for diversity, belonging, and inclusion, and calls on us to speak out against of hate and protect every resident. But these values must be matched by action. Just last month, Sabrina de la Peña, a 61-year-old Salvadoran immigrant and longtime business owner in MacArthur Park, endured a horrific series of transphobic attacks at her store. Over 2 weeks, Sabrina was sexually assaulted, beaten with a skateboard, pepper sprayed, and threatened with death by multiple assailants because she is a transgender woman and a migrant. Despite her repeated pleas for help, the LAPD's response was slow and ineffective, leaving Sabrina vulnerable to continued violence. Meanwhile, crime and homelessness in Los Angeles is both down, yet we keep funding LAPD instead of investing in investments for the community to help us out where it's needed. Thank you.
General public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Tiana Shaw-Wakeman, and I serve as the Environmental Justice Program Director with Black Women for Wellness. We are a human rights reproductive justice organization committed to supporting the health and well-being of Black women and girls. I am also here with Stand Together Against Neighborhood Drilling LA, a racial and environmental justice coalition of community-based organizations fighting with and for Angelinos on the front lines of neighborhood oil drilling. I'll be brief. I just want to thank the Council for approving items 7 and 8, as both are extremely vital for the health of families. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.
My name is Lisandro Presa. I work at LAX and I'm a member of Unite Here Local 11. For over 2 years, I've been showing up here, missing work, pleading with you not to delay the Olympic wage. I am pleading for you to vote yes tomorrow. I'm struggling to pay for my medications. We need this raise. People are struggling to feed their families and afford rent. Please vote yes, no delays. Thank you.
This only applies to folks who have not spoken already. You can come speak on item 16. That's the only thing open at this moment.
Speaker, you've already spoken, so this is not your opportunity to speak. You were already given your full time. So I'm not seeing anyone else come up for item 16, so I believe we have exhausted. Are you here, Ms. Rocha, are you here for item 16?
You can come speak to item 16, but you cannot yell out. If you wish to speak to item 16, come to the microphone right now, and you, Ms. Rocha, you will have a chance to speak to item 16. If you do not wish to speak to item 16, then you do not need to come up to the microphone. It's one item, it's item 16. I believe you're the last one here to speak on that item. So go ahead for 1 minute on item 16.
You didn't call me.
And before you begin,
we understand we didn't call you. There was a time limit. That limit is passed.
But you didn't call me, though.
Please don't repeat yourself. We heard you. We heard you. You have 1 minute to speak to item 16. That is the only thing afforded to you at this moment. Time for general public comment and for people who did not get called is over. We do not have unlimited time. We have met for an hour, and that's it. You have a chance to speak on item 16. Do you wish to speak to item 16?
Okay, what's item 16?
Okay, then you do not wish to speak to it. So
You didn't call me. You know what? I don't get down here very often.
Okay, you need. That's it. Well, is there any other speakers for item 16? Okay, you do not wish to speak to item 16. Then public comment is closed. Thank you. We'll now move on to the rest of the meeting. Okay, what's next? Councilwoman, I didn't see you at the podium. Council, I assumed somebody was here because I saw my good friend Chris and others. Councilwoman Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today, we adjourn this council meeting in remembrance of a true public servant, a cherished friend, the Honorable Nate Holden.
Heather, this has been a week's been like, I've been like on a roller coaster. I don't know if there would be a political Herb Wesson, a political me, if it were not for Nate Holden. You know, we have a saying in our community, if you can help somebody, then your life has not been in vain. Nate Holden, Senator Holden, Councilman Holden helped thousands. Like I said to you, he gave me my very first job in politics. But what most people don't know, he got me my first government job at the County of Los Angeles, where I met my wife. 3 weeks from today, we will celebrate our 44th wedding anniversary. That's Nate Holden. My daughter-in-law, who works here, if I wasn't here, she wouldn't have met my son, and she wouldn't have had the 2 lovely grandkids that I have. And there's my daughter-in-law, Alexis. And my son, Herb III, Nate just hired him on his own, and now Herb III works for the Secretary of State. And I could go on and on identifying individuals that he's touched. So Nate's life was not in vain. He touched so many people. And you talk about the great things he did. The most important thing that your dad did, he knew how to live. That's what he did. And it was never a dull moment. Bill Robinson, who is in the back, Bill, just stand up wherever you are. He was our representative to the Koreatown area. We went to Korea, big trip, Busan. We had a hurricane. We went to Taipei, Taiwan. The president died. Wherever Nate went, something happened.